Did you know that Americans buy over 200 million mum plants every single fall? That's right, 200 million mums end up in shopping carts, most of them treated as annuals and tossed after one season. But here's the gardening truth: some of these mum plants could actually survive winter and bloom again for years.
Hi, I'm Carol at Almost Two Acres. Today we're going deep on chrysanthemums, specifically the weird way the gardening world has a split personality on growing them. Are they annuals? Are they perennials? By the end of this video, you're going to know which ones to plant for long-term success and which ones are just pretty fall decorations. All right, here's the truth bomb. Most mums aren't either annual or perennial by nature. They're made that way by timing and breeding. Let me explain what I mean.
When you walk into a garden center in September and see those perfect blooming mum pots for $12.99, you're looking at what the industry calls florist mums or decorator mums. These are bred for one thing: to look absolutely stunning right now in fall in a pot. They're often less winter hardy because they've been selected for flower power, not survival. Here's what you want to know. There's a whole other category called garden mums that are specifically bred to overwinter in the ground. We're talking about varieties like the Minnesota series, the Mammoth series, Korean mums, and some really tough rubellum types. These bad boys can survive down to zone 3. That's Minnesota winters, people. I have lots more garden knowledge to share from 50 years of gardening up north. Smash that like button and subscribe for more Almost 2 Acres content. So what makes some mums perennial survivors and others one-season wonders? It comes down to three main factors. First, genetics. The perennial types have been specifically selected and bred for winter hardiness. The University of Minnesota has spent decades developing varieties that can handle brutal winters. Their Mammoth series and Cushion mums are literally bred to laugh at minus 30-degree temperatures. Second, root establishment. This is huge, and it's where most people go wrong. If you plant mums in late fall when they're already blooming, their roots never get a chance to establish before winter hits. Then the freeze-thaw cycles literally heave them right out of the ground. It's like asking someone to run a marathon without training. Third, timing and care. The Missouri Botanical Garden and Chicago Botanic Garden both recommend spring planting for mums you want to keep as perennials. Give them all summer to develop those strong root systems, and they'll reward you with years of fall color. Now, let's talk specific varieties, because this is where it gets really exciting. I've got the top performers here based on university trials and botanic garden recommendations. If you're in a harsh climate like me, you want the University of Minnesota varieties. The Mammoth series, like Mammoth White Daisy, Mammoth Lavender Daisy, and Mammoth Yellow Quill, these are zone 3 hardy. That's the cold level I experience every year. Then you've got the Minnesota Cushion series, Min White, Min Yellow, Min Ruby. These compact beauties are also bred for zone 3 to 4 survival. Korean mums are reliable workhorses. Sheffield is salmon pink and blooms for weeks. Mary Stoker is this gorgeous straw yellow that's been a garden favorite for decades. And Clara Curtis, part of the Rubellum group, gives you classic pink daisies and reliable performance. If you're in zone 5 or warmer, lucky you, you've got tons of options. The Missouri Botanical Garden recommends varieties like Ruby Mound, Patriot, West Point, and Allure. These are all proven perennial performers. Here's where we get into the practical stuff: how to actually succeed with perennial mums. Location is everything. Full sun and well-drained soil are non-negotiable. That pH sweet spot is about 6.5 to 6.7. And here's a key point: avoid areas that stay wet in winter. Mums hate wet feet when they're dormant. Spring planting is your friend. I know it's tempting to plant those gorgeous fall pots, but if you want perennial performance, plant in spring. Give them at least 6 to 8 weeks before your first hard freeze if you absolutely must do fall planting. The pinching technique. This is where a lot of people mess up. You need to pinch the growing tips every time you put on about 6 inches of growth, but stop by late June or early July. This keeps them compact and delays blooming until fall where you want it. Winter protection. After the first hard frost, don't cut them to the ground like you might with other perennials. Leave 4 to 6 inches of stem, then mound soil or mulch 4 to 8 inches over the crowns. This protects against freeze-thaw cycles. Here's something. You might already have perennial mum varieties and not even know it. Many garden centers sell the same cultivars as both annual color in fall and perennial plants in spring. The difference? Those fall potted are root bound, already flowering, and planted at the worst possible time for establishment. The same variety planted in spring as a small plant will often overwinter just fine. Let's talk about why mums fail, because I get this question a lot. I planted them and they died over winter. Usually this means fall planting without enough establishment time, or poor drainage, or no winter protection. They came back but didn't bloom. This often happens when spring growth gets pinched too late in the season or when plants are in too much shade. They're getting leggy and falling over. Classic sign of insufficient pinching during the growing season or too much nitrogen late in the year. They just disappeared. Could be poor drainage, could be they weren't actually hardy varieties, or could be freeze-thaw heaving from inadequate winter protection. Your success with perennial mums really depends on where you're gardening. If you're in zones 7 to 9, you've got tons of options, and even fall planting can work well. Zones 5 to 6 are a sweet spot where most garden mums thrive with proper care. Zones 3 to 4, you need to stick with university-bred hardy varieties and be extra careful about winter protection. So here's your action plan. If you want perennial mums, start shopping for them in spring, not fall. Look for varieties specifically labeled as garden mums or hardy mums. The Mammoth series, Minnesota cushions, Korean mums, and Rebellum types are your best bets. Plant them in full sun with good drainage, pinch them through early summer, and protect them well over winter. Do this, and you'll have gorgeous fall color that comes back year after year.
Thanks for joining me today at Almost 2 Acres. If you like my faith-filled coffee-drinking hippie vibe, please subscribe and bring your friends along. Until next time, let's get growing.